again, if this is the wall, this is the wall, and this is the whole stage, right? Like, if you're like here, and Metera's here, then she's just throwing fireballs, and you can't, and like apparently you can't even ominous turn through them, you just die, right? If you're here, and Metera's here, it's kind of a fucking clown fiesta. Like, honestly, Metera might have better up close than you do, but even if you don't, like, you know, she does some pretty good damage, you have bad defense, she has bad defense, you know, she's got good pressure, she's got some weird shit you can do, you got a lot of plus frames. It's kind of, like, you know, this isn't bad, but like, it's kind of it's a clusterfuck, right? But if you're like here, and she's like here, right? Suddenly, this is like a little too close for comfort to safely throw fireballs. Because like if she just, for example, if she throws a fireball, you can like try to jump it and kill her. But also, you can like stuff her on startup. You just happen to be throwing a far H or a 2U or something, right? And also like ominous turn from this range might very well hit her before the fireball hits you, right? Or even hits death, right? It might hit her out of her startup, right? Like this is the, and like again, the risk reward here is way better because if she throws like a fireball and it hits you, I mean, you take like 800 damage and you go to like here, which is not good for you, right? You get pushed out a bit, sure. But if you hit her, you do like 7k because you're near, right? So like this middle distance here is, I think, how you approach this matchup, is trying to hold this distance, you know? Let's take a look at Mom, Pick Me Up, I'm Scared. I'm stuck in Metera Butterfly Pressure and I must spot, I mean, it's quite the descriptive name right here. This is Hollow, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Hi again. I feel really stupid when I have to play against Metera with Nier. Look, they're sick. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Chief. I don't face a lot of Meteras because I don't see them around a lot. It feels really a really hard matchup for Nier. Can also be straight up playing the matchup wrong too. A couple things to note. I'm not sure how to approach this matchup, and my reads feel like I was throwing wrong things. Felt like I was throwing wrong things at the wall just to see what sticks. All my approaches to close distance seem to be too predictable and be stuffed out, and I get stuck doing the same thing over and over and hoping that it'll work. I want to work on my defensive options like baiting BC to not be pushed back to neutral. Oh, not the trying to loop. Okay, like I was wondering if it wasn't looping properly before, but it looped properly this time. Poggers. I want to work on my defensive options like baiting BC to not be pushed back to neutral. Effective rolls or spot dodges. I don't really know how. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Defensive options like baiting BC to not be pushed back to neutral. Effective rolls or spot dodges. I'm not really sure if those are defensive, but sure. Okay. As for offense, I feel like that I'm barely just out of range to contest something. I'm a slight masher at heart. On defense, when I try to get out, take back my turn, and be on the offensive, I get stuffed and die. Butterfly pressure on arrows is scary. I don't know what to do. When I get some awkward straights from death, I have a hard time converting it into favorable situations. Okay, sure. Yuja, as you well, the main fear is everything I do in stance will die to DP. Because you can't block, I guess? And I guess for some DPs, if you parry them, you might just lose anyway, right? Like if you like parry Siegfried DP, he's like invuln enough that he'll like punish your recovery, probably. That must be a fun matchup, actually. I think about it. Oh, let's see. All right, so Metera Nier. It's an interesting one, right? For Nier in general, whenever we see a Nier here, holding the space Nier wants to hold is kind of weird, in that Nier does not necessarily, like, she's not a zoner and she's not like a rushdown character, but Nier is still, like, the one thing they kind of kept for her is that she still does kind of have, like, she has some of the best neutral in the game. Right? That's kind of her, it's worse than it used to be, but it's still there, right? So Nier kind of wants to hold a mid-range. She doesn't really want as much to, like, be at full screen or, like, right in someone's face. You want to be at kind of a mid-range, especially in a matchup like this, where, obviously, if you're full screen, right, then, you know, Metera has, like, projectile advantage, which can zone you out and stuff like that, shoot death if you try to, like, ominous turn or whatever. And if you're really up close, I mean, honestly, like, you know, previously I would have said go to town, but, like, you know, like, death dies to throw text, death dies to you getting BC'd, like, you kind of don't even, right? Like, and Metera, unironically, has, like, some decent offense. You both have bad defense, right? Like, ugh. So, like, realistically, you probably want to hold, like, a kind of round start distance, because at that distance, you are close enough that you can, like, Metera can't safely poke with her fireballs, because, like, she's in range to get, like, far H'd on startup or something, or, like, 2-1-4 H'd on startup or something like that. And you can get, like, your big pokes into your big confirms. It's kind of, like, what Nier, it's the only thing she does at this point. The only thing Nier does well at this point is, like, get a lot of damage off one big poke in the mid-screen. She's kind of shit at everything else. But she's really good at that, right? She is good at that, certainly. Round stop Bokar, that's mega punishable. Well, we'll see. There you go, punished. But yeah, like, you want to hold a mid-range in this matchup. You are kind of the aggressor, because even though you're not trying to get right in her face, the range you want to hold is closer than the range Metera wants to hold by default, right? So like you will have to like close distance to get back. Yeah, see, she's trying to run away. You want to close distance to get back to that mid range. Quick note on this: you have no death. Never mind. I was like, what? Yeah, you get it back, but not quite in time. That arrow, whenever you see her do that arrow, you can probably just fucking, you can probably just like 2-1-4H her, right? Ominous turn and kill her. That's reactable and very killable. By the way, damn bitch, I just realized, you live like this? You have like, for your replays, you have your input overlay over the center of the screen? This can't be, right? This can't be the move, right? I can't see the match, man. There's no way. This is your preferred layout? Listen, man, whatever. If you're happy, I'm happy, but like, this, I was like, why does the screen look so weird? It's because the inputs are like over top of the match. This is wild. I forgot how to change it. It's somewhere in the options. I just noticed that my brain like didn't process it for a second. It was like that video with all the people passing the basketball back and forth and like the gorilla walks in the middle of the screen. When I do it, it resets it. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, so you Butterfly, you kind of just have to... You Butterfly, Metera basically... Metera spent 50 to, for the most part, unless you do something, unless she messes up really bad, Metera spent 50 to win neutral, right? You Butterfly, you kind of want to hold him, because like, he's gonna stay on top of you, he's got a ton of block stun, she gets a shit ton of damage, as you can see, if they do it, right? If they actually hit you off it. It's like, you Butterfly is a very good use skill, right? You kind of have to like... Unless the Metera like really gives you a big gap to just like hit her or something, you kind of want to just like... You kind of have to hold that, right? Just try and, you know... Let her trigger it as soon as possible, and then you have to worry about it too much. Okay. Good BC. I was gonna say I'm looking for those BCs, certainly. I like the 6XM just for the side swap, really. Spot dodge on the hop, I wouldn't really say. Hop in general, you can definitely, like, you can just like meet it in the middle with aerials, right? Probably like far Emmet is near or something. Okay, sure, get DP'd. Fool, even. Yeah, I don't, you're trying to spot dodge the arrow, I suppose, not the hop, that's fair. Spot dodging the projectile is definitely good. Okay. You can't kill her here, can you? Oh, no more death. This is crazy. Why is he so scared of you? What? Why is he so scared of you? Wait, what? Nah, it's December 3rd. Okay, I was like, is he fighting pre-patch Nier in his head still? But like, nah, it's December 3rd, dog. You can't be so past. I know this is not a replay review for Acid, but like, Meteras can't really match. On Deathless Nier, they can match, right? On Deathless Nier, they can match, right? Like, in general, sure. On Deathless Nier, nah. Deathless Nier, whose like biggest damage is auto combo into nothing, you can match. Meteras match points in corner are very, very risky. Risky how? Against Deathless Nier? What's the punish? The most damage you'll ever take is three auto combo hits. She literally can't do more than that, right? She can't do it. She can't even Raging Strike, right? That's meant when he was doing run up? Oh, okay, yeah. In which case, yeah. Wait, what happened here? Was he like ranting about Deathless Nier? Yeah, see, I don't think you want to, so you jump back to this distance. I don't think you want to, like, you don't want to hold this space, right? It's not good for you. Because from here, it's very hard for you to, yeah, see, like, it's very hard for you to interact with Metera from here, right? From here, she can play the game and you can't. You just don't have, you want to probably, I would say, like, ideally, you see, like, where your throw button is? Like, so the overlay actually helps, like a mark placed on the screen. But yeah, you see this, like, throw button right here? You want to be, like, right there, maybe, like, between the D-pad and the throw button, right? That's good shit right there. Because here, you can, like, move up and threaten far H, or, like, you can 2-1-4H or something, right? And she can't, like, if she just, like, is freely throwing out arrows, she might get counter hit and die, right? The startup on her projectiles at the end of the day is much more than on a normal. Especially for them to, like, get to you and everything. If we just go to Metera here, right? You can also, yeah, you can anti-air light on the way in without even a 2H. You can just, like, smack it out of the air. Dodging Great Falls and Great, you can easily catch dodges. Yeah, and also, if you see Great Fall, kill her. It's reactable and, right, she's dead. Unless she has a butterfly covering it. If you see Great Fall, it's like 2-1-4H it or something. She can't do anything about it, or 2-1-4U it. Right? On reaction. Well, let's look at some of Metera's moves here. Right. I don't know, lights and far H work there. You can just, yeah, you can smack Hop out of the way even without like a 2H. Where, I'm looking for Metera. Where the hell is Metera? I'm blind. There she is. Right, so like, yeah, like her arrows have a 12 frame startup and they have travel time to them as well, right? So like this is like, as far as like, if this was like if you consider this like a normal, it's pretty slow, right? Like it'll get to, like by the time it gets to you, can probably smack it, right? Similarly, by the way, this is 22 plus 22 and 48 frames of recovery, right? Like you, like when you see this, kill her, right? If Metera does this in neutral, this is they're basically like saying, hey, I don't think you're gonna react to this. But yeah, I think one of the big problems this round is you doing like this is your space. Like I wouldn't roll in either, honestly, right? You don't want to be that close to her unless you have her in the corner. You don't want to be that far away from her. You want to be in the middle, right? It's like you come here. I don't know that I would even like. Where is it? Yeah, this. I don't even roll there. I don't think this is the good spot. This is the good spacing for you, because here you can use your like superior near buttons. Well, you don't death, I guess, but hypothetically, yeah. I mean, with deathless near, you definitely don't want to run up to her either. But like, if you had death, fair enough, because you got throw tech, right? That does that now. But if you got, you know, from here, you can like use your 2U, your far H, your 2-1-4H, all these things to fight Metera, and like it's tough for her to like safely contest back here, right? So, but like getting closer than this or getting further away than that is not really your jam, I don't think. Like, yeah, like you just got death back there. I don't think you're trying to roll through a projectile. I get it, but like, you know, if you want to maintain, roll is good to like dodge the projectile and close distance. You don't really want to close distance, just spot dodge, you know. You know, someone too much space, someone who wants space. I roll because I didn't expect a hop, I expected arrow. Yeah, so in that case too, that's fair. But like in that case, I would say roll is worse than spot dodge. Like it has less invuln. It has more counter hit frames. You can sweep it, but you can't do that to spot dodge, stuff like that, right? And the reason for that is that the thing that balances it is that roll is invincible and closes distance. That's kind of the power budget there. That's why they made roll a worse invul move than spot dodge, because it closes distance, right? But you don't want, even if they do shoot an arrow here, you don't want to close distance, I think. Me personally, I don't think you want the close distance there, right? So you want to dodge the arrow, but honestly maintain that middle distance. So you should just spot dodge, I think. So if you had like spot dodge there and gotten hopped at, I would have understood more, you know? You just guessed wrong, that's fine. You guessed wrong on the RPS. But I just don't think you want to close distance there at all, which is why the only reason you would roll over spot dodging, because spot dodge otherwise is like a purely superior defensive option, right? The only thing roll does is it moves you forward, which spot dodge doesn't. But I don't think you want that at that spacing anyway, right? Oh boy, yeah, it's kind of one of them rounds, one of them days. Kind of got your shit rocks in the corner there. It happens. It happens. No shame in it. I guess you did want to, like, let me see, you said you didn't want to ask about how to get out of butterfly pressure, right? I mean, so the reality of the matter is, with the butterflies, they're like plus a billion, right? You have to admit this is kind of just a bad matchup for Nier. Maybe it's hard to say. Maybe I could see that. So one thing, if she's like triggering butterflies, then like you're fine, because like she's just plus as fuck. You have to hold that. With the hop, you can certainly, like, you know, the overhead has to come before the low, so you can always just like, you can fuzzy this a little bit. So you can like hold back and then for a little bit, and then hold down back, without even like seeing what she's doing, right? If she goes for an overhead, you block the overhead, and then like later on she lands, goes for a low, you've already swapped down back, and you're fine. Right, so like you can certainly do, like, if you're getting hit by the high low a lot here by the hop, there's like, you know, there's ways around this. This is not mix, right? Now the Metera can like fuck around with the timing of the overhead or the low or something to mess you up, but like baseline, like there's an OS here. By the way, like even if it's a bad matchup for Nier, honestly, if it's a bad matchup for Nier, then everything I'm saying is even more valid. Because if it's a bad matchup for Nier, then playing around like the one good spacing that you do have becomes even more important. If it's a good matchup for Nier, then you just do whatever the fuck you want and win anyway, right? But if it is a bad matchup for Nier, then playing it correctly becomes even more important, right? Doesn't feel epic, that's for sure. I wanted to anti-air, but I couldn't really see what was happening visually because the butterflies in the way. Yeah, I mean, this is not a good time necessarily to go on the offensive, I think, right? Metera has some pretty, like, butterfly pressure is a big deal, right? I don't think this is probably a good time for you to just like block it out, and if you can get a BC, sure. Otherwise, you know, wait for the butterflies to go away, right? This is not like, this is her win condition, right? Like, you can try to like run head first through her win condition, but likely it's gonna get you killed, right? It's doable. It's not like you can't anti-air her or you can't stop her, but like, she's done a lot of work to set up a situation that is very advantageous for her. And if you don't play ball a little bit, at least by default, again, you can always be unpredictable. I've been playing ball the whole set, now I'm gonna 2H your ass, right? This matchup you just can't have Death out because Fireball Circus on screen. How does Death interact? Like if you throw like a 2, because Death is a projectile, right? So like how does it work if like she throws like a medium arrow and you throw heavy Death, like heavy ominous turn? Does it not win? Does Death die? Death outright dies to all projectiles? Sheesh. Okay, then it's a bad matchup. Yeah, I don't think I fully my not projectile having ass did not know this. That's very funny. Again though, if that's the case, even more important that you play your spacing correctly, so that you can like threaten ominous turn as the projectiles are starting up, threaten far H as they're starting up instead of doing it on reaction, right? Even more important to hold that middle distance at that point. Ow. Ow. Arrow wins? Yeah. Probably have to use skillet? That's true. It's also fair. You could 2-1-4-U. Obviously that's not great for you, but that's something. Yeah, now when Death dies, you become bottom 1 for a few seconds. So funny. Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is tough, right? You always want to be careful approaching Metera when she's got a butterfly out, right? Because, like, it's kind of designed exactly for her to be able to put a wall up in front of herself like that. Like, even if that 6XL connects, you still die to the butterfly, right? It's not a spacing thing. You gotta be a little careful running at Metera when the butterfly, like butterflies, like you have correctly identified that butterflies are big dick, right? You do have to be careful, right? You do have to respect them a little bit more than you currently are, I think. That's good. Oh, okay, sure. Raptor just got poked out trying to do some death nonsense. Yeah. 2-2-U is not that fast of a move. I'll definitely, like, you know, if you're gonna do this like up close, I'll definitely try to do that like out of a cancel out of a normal, or you know, it is not. It's just like from this up, it is like a 17 frame startup or something, right? Fast for like a fucking full screen combo starting ultimate skill, but not really for like that up close and neutral like that, right? If there's a pressure character in the corner, it's best to either wait her butterfly out and then get her, or prevent her from setting up in the first place. Yeah. Rip my U skill. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to use like big, like imagine that's like, what is a startup on 2-2-U actually? Let's take a look at this. So Nier, ultimate skills, ultimate death reversed, 13. Okay, so right, so like imagine if you were like that close to her and you like far H'd, right? That's like, you know, it's not quite the place for that move. Right, so it's just like it's a good move, but not from that up close since it's so slow. It's designed to, like, you know, from further ranges where like the pokes are slower, right? So like if you far H'd point blank and got counter hit, to be like, well, yeah, same thing with the U skill. The U skill's even slower, if anything, right? The U skill has one more frame of startup on it, so it is rip the U skill, but it is unfortunate. If Metera could 2M that, then it's useless on an opponent that reacts well. Even if they don't react though, it's just like, you know, the odds that they throw out some button there are not that bad, and like, because using a slower move, whatever you throw out will probably lose to whatever they throw out. It's the same reason like we hit lights up close, we hit heavies from far away, right? It's not just a range thing, it's a speed thing too. Okay, keep her in the corner, that's good. God, Brave Counter just kills this character, that's so funny. You just got Brave countered and you just like lost your character for like 10 seconds. Look at this. This has nothing to do with like you, but like, look at this. So you get Brave countered. I mean, you had low death stocks to be fair. What's the best time to Brave counter you? You get Brave countered at 69. How long until you become a character again? 63, 62, 61, 60, right? This is so long. Dizzy Wings of Light just triggered. You good air to air, but like Dizzy Wings of Light just went and you had like 4 more seconds left to go. Isn't that insane? This Metera is really scared of Deathless Nier, though, I will say. I mean, like, when you're literally one hit, I suppose, but your best bet is probably still to run offense on him, right? Okay, sure. 2-2U without hits should refund Death Meter TBH? And now you're kind of in the circus, unfortunately, in just a projectile carnival. She's got, like, she gets a knockdown, she has more projectiles, she's like a little bit ahead on the tempo, right? Of things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like that was just, sometimes you just get stuck in limbo, right? A little bit late on the roll. Like, they're mixing up their timing well as well, right? Yeah, Butterfly caught you jumping, you got womboed. 2-2U beat that. Right, yeah, 2-1-4U missed, they baited it like that. This is just like how it goes. Like, this is not, you just guess wrong like 6 times in a row on the zoning. Yeah, I think, and they like had momentum as well. Like, it, that's not the worst thing in the world, despite how rough that must have felt to have happened to you. It just happens sometimes. You don't dwell on that too much. After knockdown, I'm not sure what to do in the corner for pressure other than close cell, or frame trap. 2L with Deathless Near. Yeah, you got nothing. Deathless Near is like not a character, right? Like, yeah, even your throws do less damage than other characters, right? Deathless Near is not a pressure character. Deathless Near is not a character, in fact. Or like Far H, yeah. I mean, even like your normals are smaller, right, than they normally would be. Like your Far H is not even that good, Deathless. I think your best play is to play defensively, actually, right? Like, just wait until death comes back. You can like 6XL and then auto combo to like waste time, right? Just like to have a long animation. Like, if you do get some offense, like just auto combo them and just like literally waste their time with the auto combo. Good old super, so it was a shit ton of damage on low stocks, certainly. Triple attack overhead low, yeah, again, more so just like to waste damage than anything. Far H, Far M, and 2U, maybe some others. Even if I have them in the corner, I mean, I guess. If you have them in the corner, you get to wait, right? If I have them in the corner, you know the thing people do where they just like, they sit at like a medium distance, kind of poke at you with like 2M and stuff, right? I would do that. If you have them in the corner, don't like go in on them, because like if this Metera is very scared of Deathless Near, but like realistically, the risk ward's in their favor still. I feel like if you're running Strike Throw, you don't have any Strike Throw, man. Your throw does 2,000 damage, your strike does 2,000 damage, right? Them matching on you in the corner has higher risk reward, right? Like, you just don't do anything. So I think what you probably could do instead is like poke at them in the corner, keep them in the wall, right? Like if they're almost dead, yes, like if they literally have like 1,000 health, sure, but like stand at like a middle, because your buttons are still okay even in Deathless, right? So like stand at like a middle distance, like kind of like right outside that 2U Far H range, right? And just kind of poke at them, because my understanding of Deathless Near is that, again, you are literally garbage. So your whole goal is to stall until Near comes back, like real Near, like until the actual character can be played again. So the best, if you have offense somehow as Deathless Near, which like if you have them in the corner and you're Deathless, I don't know, like I don't even know how you got them there, but if you did, which you did, Suntera ran away from you mostly is what happened. But like if you do get offense as Deathless Near, then I think what you should do, how do I describe this? Okay, I'm gonna use another replay that we did earlier, just because like it's the easiest way to describe it. We're on 7-11 for yours. I'll keep that in mind. Because like it's a thing that happens to everyone, but it's hard to explain in words. I think what this Catalina does right here, it's kind of back up and like poke every now and then and stuff. Do this, right? Now, unfortunately, the real answer is that like they don't respect your strike throw, because they shouldn't, and they shouldn't respect this either, because the only reason any of this offense works is the threat of like eating a big combo, right? So realistically, when you're Deathless Near, against anyone who like knows, they're just gonna run at you, because like there's no risk. Like, it's all reward, no risk, right? You can't do anything, and if you hit them, you don't do any damage, and you don't have any Oki, and if they hit you, you're a low health character, and you have no defense because you have no death, and you have no good buttons, and like realistically, if someone is letting you run offense as Deathless Near, because that's what it is, they have to let you do it. If someone's letting you do it, do this, just to waste time, right? Waste as much of their time as possible until you become a character again. But like, no one should let you run offense as Deathless Near. Like, that's why I've mentioned it every single time. It's like what this Metera is doing, I think, is a big mistake, right? Like I think there's still like pre-patch Near PTSD in their head. They keep running away from you when you're Deathless, and I'm like, bro, she's like 4 tiers all by herself, bottom 1. She can't even fucking Raging Strike you, you know? There's no convergence off anything. Interesting. I mean, I would say she can't. I don't. If she's right here, if she's doing this overhead out of the hop, you can just BC her ass, right? That also works. Like, you know, she can't like if she lands, she can spot dodge or something. But like when she's this high up, hey Steeler, how's it going? When she's this high up, right? If she hits you with this overhead, you know, just don't be afraid to BC the hop. I don't think I'm like giving you information that's gonna kill you. I don't think there's like a 100% canned kill BC every time Metera hop setup. If there is, my bad. But like I do this at least. I haven't died for it yet. Just BC the hop, sometimes. You have 3 brave points and like you want out of the situation, right? This shit sucks. I don't want to be here. That works too. A little bit riskier than BC is the only thing. But of course, less resource intensive. Yeah, the hop high lows, I think you just need to you can practice the fuzzy if you want. Because it is like, Meteras do this all the fucking time, right? It's like the core of the fucking character. So if you just like, have a Metera do hop into like a late overhead, or have a Metera do hop into an early overhead, have a Metera do hop into low, and have a Metera do hop into like late low, right? Or, maybe like early overhead, late overhead, and then just a low, right? Because the low is always going to be last anyway. And just like have her alternate between those like randomly, and try to fuzzy, like try to block all of it without reacting, right? Try to just like hold back for some amount of time and then hold down back. Fuzzy it, basically. Because that's the one thing that's catching you kind of like when it maybe shouldn't. Because like butterfly pressure is scary. But like sometimes it just hops in and lows you and it probably shouldn't be happening that way, right? Like you did it there, I think, right? That was like you blocked high for a bit and you blocked low right away. Like that's good. This is what like that's I think you did do it here, right? But it has been catching you a couple of times. Yeah, like that's exactly what you should be doing there. Hops in what? So true. She did what to the who? Isn't that child 16 years old? It's okay. She's a evoker. She's gonna live forever. Guy with the ads. Oh, I was telling you to fuzzy the high low from the hop, right? You've done it a couple, like right here. I think you're doing it right. Like right somewhere. Right. Just you wait until I get to 10 mana. Right. Wait. Right. Oh, I think I'm okay. Point. You did it before. Disconnected and I heard hops in and blows you. I think I said hops in and blows you up. Yeah, hold back for a bit, then hold down back. And you can, I'll say you could set up like a drill in training mode where you like record a Metera doing hop into like an early overhead, hop into a late overhead, and hop into a low, and then have the dummy alternate between those 3 at random and try to block all of them without ever getting hits. Because you can. It's not a reaction check. It's an OS, right? Wordalicious, indeed. What the? Her hop is timed pretty close to her jumping attacks. After the first 21 frames, she can hit and infiltrate. Second jam or J, she can whiff. It could be intentional or not to whiff. Interesting. I guess that's why she can safe jump with her hop too, right? It's timed similar to her jump. I've seen Metera safe jump off hop, certainly, before. Safe hop. So it's one of them rough ones. Help, mom. They're zoning me. They're bullying me. Okay, sure. Yeah, dude, this is good, right? You get the one ultimate. Oh, you can cancel. You can use them as combo starters now. I forgot about that. Honestly, I wonder if like you'd rather just like. So this is interesting. I wonder if you'd rather just get the 2-1-4U and just chase after her, and get like basically full Oki, right? I mean, you probably could have converted that into something better, but it's still good. It's still good. Okay, sure. Oh, my brave counter. Still sad. God, maybe this character is bottom 1, man. I don't fucking know. No, that doesn't happen to anyone else, man.
Get grabbed, comma, nerd.
Like, this is the only character in the game that can have a Raging Strike whiff on them and still lose the game off it, right? There's no one else in the game that this situation is bad for them. I think Nier is way worse than Anila. This character, maybe this character is fucking bottom 1. So there was a lot of pushback when the patch came out, and I was saying Nier is like really bad, and like a lot of Niers like hadn't given up hope yet, and a lot of people in general were still just like on the train of like, bro, like she was fucking top 1. There's no way. Like I bet you she's like at least still mid tier or whatever, right? Like she's so broken. So like when I made the tier list, I was like, then a lot of Niers dropped her, yeah. And then so when I made the tier list, I was like, I'm gonna put her at like bottom 5 because like I think already people are gonna fucking call me an idiot for this. But like the longer this patch goes, I'm like, man, this character is so bad. There's no one else in the game that like has a brave counter whiff on them and loses off of it, you know? Damage is still really good, sure, but it's not really, you know, it's not that important, I guess, right? Her damage is good. She is probably, she's not even the best in the game at it, but she's, you know, top 5 or 10 or something at like probably 5, like mid-screen damage off like a single poke, like a stray poke that lands, right? But like, I don't know, man, who gives a fuck, right? I know technically doesn't have a weakness. All right. Oh, hold on. Her weakness is that her weakness is her numbers are just too low, right? Her normal ults and damage is still very, very good. Her normal ults are not good anymore, right? Because her ults are they die to brave counter, right? Her ultimate skills you can brave. They gave her the ability to use them as combo starters, but they lost their invuln at the end. So whenever Nier does an ultimate skill, you brave counter death on the right timing, and you turn it to deathless Nier, right? So her ults are actually quite bad now. In combos, sure, but even like the pressure ones aren't good, right? It's basically saying why play her on better Shotos? Well, yes, but no, it's not that she's outclassed. Is like she's pretty good. So there's others who are better. Adil's big thing is that she's like she's not pretty good. Like her, like at a certain point, like why, you know, the idea there, Squid, is like hypothetically, say Deathless Nier's auto combo did 18,000 damage, right? Right, just imagine, you know, if Deathless Nier's auto combo did 18,000 damage, then suddenly all this nonsense I've been talking about how she just like has no risk reward whatsoever is gone, right? So like it's not just a matter of your kit. The numbers at play also matter, right? So like, you know what? It's like her numbers are too low, man. She just doesn't do that much. She doesn't, like even her damage, like they nerfed the U skills. Her damage isn't even that good anymore, right? Her zonings, the numbers of her fireballs are too slow, etc., right? Nier's thing is that she has good things. She doesn't function as a character. She's basically not a character. I don't know that that's necessarily accurate. It says that she has way too. So Nier, the big thing with Nier is that like all the universal system mechanics kill her. She went from being the best character at dealing with throw and brave counter to probably the worst, the single worst, right? Like, and that's a big, like, you know, if you are the character who is the most hurt by throw teching and brave countering, which are 95% of offensive interactions in this game, right? Then you're probably the worst character in the game. I don't think she doesn't function as a character. I think she is directly hard countered she's directly hard countered by the system in a way that basically no other character is. On top of she fucking can't raging strike sometimes and whatever. She's low health, she has bad defense, whatever. So what he's saying is Anila kills him 3-4 touches. That's why she ain't too good. Yes, and her fireballs, the numbers on her fireballs are too slow. Like her fireballs have too much reaction. The fireballs themselves are not good enough, right? Like a lot of her pressure tools aren't good enough. A lot of her buttons are too slow. Like it's not just her damage. Like Anila is a very easy example of Catalina, in my opinion, used to be this, and they turned her shit up to 11, right? But Anila is a very good example of a character that is like, you're right, when you say she has no weakness, it's kind of a tangent, I know, but like, you know, we're done the replay review, and Hollow, I think, was kind of listening as I talk, so I don't need to reiterate on too much stuff. But you're right in the sense that Anila, there is no, like you go, oh, she has everything. She's got big normals. She's got like decent mid-screen conversion. She's got a fireball. She's got like some plus frames. You know, she's got like she can poke well. She's got 60,000 health. She's not like low health or anything like that, right? She's not that slow. So you're like, oh, okay, like what's the problem, right? But again, her problem is just that like all like the numbers and all of her shit is meterless DP. Exactly, meterless DP, dude. She's broken. But the problem is just like, you know, the numbers and all her shit is just too low, right? Like her fireball, like. She has a bunch of bad tools, is what she has, right? Unfortunately, having a bunch of bad tools is not really that meaningful, right? Like there's just too much recovery on these, right? There's too much recovery on these, and there's too much startup on these, right? Like she doesn't do enough damage. Her like the only the only reason like Anila has basically she is a character. She has this, right? Is what she has. She has this fucking thing, right? So the only reason Anila is like actually winnable, because like this thing is overtuned. Like it's really, Anila feels almost like Lily from Street Fighter 6 or something, right? Where like Anila is like 2 moves the character, right? This thing's really good. Is really all it comes down to. Is Anila like 668 is actually overtuned. It's too good. And then the rest of her is like meh, okay, right? Like she has a bunch of bad tools and one really good one that just kind of like does its best to band-aid the rest. And it doesn't really work, but it at least it is. You have to respect it. You gotta respect it. But anyway, I mean, we kind of talked. So let's look at Hollow's questions right here and try to answer them. Right. So I'm not sure how to approach this matchup. My reads felt like I was throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. All my approaches to close distance seem to be too predictable. Yeah. And I was getting stuck doing the same thing over and over, hoping it'll work. So the answer to this question, I think, again, Anila 2 tricks draft, yeah. The answer to this question, I think, is that you correctly diagnosed the problem, and it's not your fault, actually. But you didn't, I don't think, find the solution, right? You are right that it's going to be very difficult for you in this matchup to get into close range with Anila. And that's not you being bad. You obviously, if you played better, it'll be easier. But, like, realistically, it's just that, it's just not, like, that's her whole fucking thing is not letting you do that. How to approach this matchup for you, again, I think, is Nier in general. There are very few matchups in the game, I think, where post-patch Nier does not want to hold some kind of middle distance where she has better, bigger buttons than almost every character in the game. Definitely more so than Metera, right? So you want to hold some sort of middle distance where you can threaten with far H, ominous turn, 2U, stuff like this. And again, your character is synergistic in the sense that you have these very good pokes. And again, you have like top 5 or something, highest damage in the game off single poke landing, right? So you want to hold that middle distance to the point where, like, if you're pull out the Microsoft Paint, baby, pull out the Microsoft Paint, because whenever I talk about spacing on screen, I can't. It's easier to do this than put it into words. So, like, again, if this is the wall, and this is the whole stage, right? Like, if you're like here and Metera's here, then she's just throwing fireballs and you can't, and like apparently you can't even ominous turn through them. You just die, right? If you're here and Metera's here, it's kind of a fucking clown fiesta. Like, honestly, Metera might have better up close than you do, but even if you don't, like, she does some pretty good damage. You have bad defense. She has bad defense. She's got good pressure. She's got some weird shit you can do. You got a lot of plus frames. It's kind of like, this isn't bad, but like, it's kind of it's a clusterfuck, right? But if you're like here and she's like here, right? Suddenly, this is like a little too close for comfort to safely throw fireballs. Because, like, if she just, for example, if she throws a fireball, you can, like, try to jump it and kill her. But also, you can, like, stuff her on startup if you just happen to be throwing a far H or a 2U or something, right? And also, like, ominous turn from this range might very well hit her before the fireball hits you, right? Or even hits death, right? It might hit her out of her startup, right? Like, this is the, and, like, again, the risk reward here is way better. Because if she throws, like, a fireball and it hits you, I mean, you take like 800 damage and you go to like here, which is not good for you, right? You get pushed out a bit, sure. But if you hit her, you do like 7k because you're near, right? So like this middle distance here is, I think, how you approach this matchup, is trying to hold this distance, where you can far H, right? Or you can 2U, or you can kind of like run up suddenly and 6XL at her. Like, this is also like the 6XL threatening distance, roughly. It's a little bit further out near far H, right? Like you can like try, like, if she's like really worried about your normals, you can suddenly try and run in and 6XL her, and then at least you have plus frames and it's your turn up close and it's not as much of a clown fiesta, right? This, I think, is your spacing for Nier, and honestly, I think this is your spacing for Nier. Nier is a very one-dimensional character at this point. She has one thing that she is very good at, like, I'll take her over the field for the most part, right? Like, the only characters with higher mid-screen damage than Nier off a single poke, not off an auto combo, right? Because a lot of characters do a lot of damage off auto combos. Like, the only characters with like higher mid-screen damage than Nier off a single poke are like, or like more reward, I guess. Or probably what, like, just like it's like Catalina and Lucilius and maybe Belial, and like that might be it, right? So like this, like, you are a one-dimensional character. This is what you do. You are really fucking good at this. Versuja off of single poke. She's in my off a sync, like, you can't get auto combo. You get far M, right? 2M? You get 2M to 5U, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess. Does she do more damage than Nier? It's close. She's in that discussion. It might be Versuja and then Nier, or Nier and then Versuja, something like that. Yes? Yeah. Nier does a lot, right? Like, Nier does, like, Nier can actually do like 8k in the mid screen, right? Off a single poke. Like, I might even be underselling her. It might actually, like, in good situations, it might actually only be like BL5 Lucilius that beats her out in the mid screen, right? But point being, you do this one thing incredibly well, and you are garbage at everything else. So I think your default approach to almost all matchups is hold this mid range, fight them from a place where they can't fight you, and then get that really big reward when you inevitably win this Nier favored situation, right? And then sometimes you fight Lucilius and you just lose, because he maybe has better pokes than you, and he's better at everything else than you too, but that's not fair. He's maybe top 1, you're bottom 1. That's not, right? At a certain point, the game's balanced. The game's very balanced. But like, if you take literally like maybe the best character in the game and the worst character in the game, it's gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be hard. Versuja 2M reaches all the way from Djibouti, so it's Nier 2U? Yep. So that's the first question there, right? I think how you approach this is hold that middle distance. 2, I want to work on my defensive options like baiting BC, not be pushed back to neutral, effective rolls or spot dodges, etc. I don't really know how. Big problem. if you bait BC as Nier, Death still gets hit by the BC and you still died. Because if you're Deathless Nier, you're not a character anymore. So unfortunately, you don't bait BC as Nier because you're the worst character in the game at dealing with BC. Well, I mean, you don't bait BC in a normal sense, right? You don't bait BC in the sense that you like spot dodge and you kill it, right? You have to like try to do some 2-3, even that doesn't work anymore. 2-3-6-7, Death dies and you die. BC's a problem for you, right? But I guess kind of as far as your defensive options, right? I'll say that one, you should BC more, I think, because you have correctly identified that like Metera's pressure is scary. I don't know what to do. You can BC a lot of that shit, man. Or you can BC a lot. And you, again, Nier unfortunately has some of like she has pretty bad defense. He has some pretty bad defense. I'm not gonna say some of the worst in the game because her 6XL is still pretty good, right? But like she has good buttons to mash on a bar, so I'm gonna roll myself back a little bit. But your defense is not good, right? And you're a low health character, so like when you make a mistake, it hurts you more. So like, you know, BC more, I'll say, certainly. As well as like, if butterflies are on screen, you can hold them a bit. They won't be on screen forever, right? Fuzzy the high-low off the hop and hold the butterflies. You might eat some chip, you might have to do some strike throw, but like, when Metera has butterflies up and she hits you, holy shit, she does like Vasaraga damage. She does like 10k, man. It's fucking insane. So like, if you have to take up a couple of throws, if you don't have death out, I can still bait BC regular. Yeah, if you don't have death out, yes. If you don't, yeah, that's correct. If you don't have death out, you can just like, you know, walk up and close L, spot dodge, or whatever, and you're totally fine. That's true. But the other thing is to how to not be pushed back to neutral. This is pretty good for you, man. Like, if you have her in the corner, sure. But like a lot of the time, being pushed back to neutral is like, you still gotta win for you, right? Like, it's like, if she like, it's not that big of a deal. Effective rolls or spot dodges, I would say like all this is really, we talked about it a little bit, is just like, only roll if you want to close distance, right? Your spot dodges are pretty good. You just didn't use them sometimes when I think you should have, right? But only roll if you're like, so if she shoots an arrow at you and you're here, if you're holding this space and shoots an arrow, you spot dodge. If she's here and you're here, right? And she shoots an arrow at you, then you roll. Only roll if you want to close distance. Because again, roll is just a worse dodge than spot dodges. But it closes distance. But the weird thing is, as Nier, you don't always want to close distance. If you're here and you roll, you end up like here. And that's not good for you, actually. You'd rather be here. So as far as like using your rolls and spot dodges effectively, I don't think you like did a bad job or anything. You were spot dodging her projectiles, which you should do against Metera, because then it makes her cooldowns longer, so that's very good, right? But you just like use roll sometimes, so I don't think you needed to close distance, right? All right. As for offense, I feel like I'm barely just out of range to contest something. I'm a slight masher at heart on defense, so try to get out, take back my turn, be back on the offensive if I get stuffed and die. Oh, I see. You have like, okay, I see. Like this is, you kind of, I think you have them flipped here a little bit. I see. So this is what we talked about with defense, brave counter more, and like, it's okay to try and mash sometimes, right? To try and mash out of the corner if your opponent is not, if your opponent is like doing spaced pressure, if they're not just like running up in your face and running a bunch of up close pressure, then you have to be a lot more careful. But if they're like standing back and like, you know, what, like just kind of poking at you, you can like try to 6XL out or poke out or something, certainly, right? But I think the big thing for your defense in this matchup, the thing that caught you the most, I think, was just hop into low, right? Fuzzy the high low off the hop there from Metera, and I think you would have been hit a lot less in this set, I think. And then finally, when I get some awkward stray hits from Death, I have a hard time converting into favorable situations. Unfortunately, I can't help you on this one, but yeah, okay, I was gonna say, I was like scrolling down, like looking for Luca here, because I'm like, I'm someone, like, I don't know, like, the good Nier routing or, like, how to end your combos or something post-patch especially, right? But, like, you know, the Nier community is very, especially, like, the ones who are still left are very dedicated, right? So, like, they will be very willing to share information with you, right? This is definitely something that you can, that you can, I mean, yeah, Luca, you know, he's got a lot of Nier knowledge to share, certainly. So, like, on that one, I can't really help you on this, unfortunately, right? I guess I will say, what I can help you on is defining favorable situations, right? So, I think favorable situations, what you want out of your hits, out of your stray hits. I mean, obviously, if you can kill her, kill her. But realistically, you want favorable situations is a place where either you get her to the corner and then you can pressure her from there, because people will say Nier doesn't need the corner, right? And yes and no. Nier doesn't need the corner for her max damage, right? But, or like for her really high damage anyway. I think there are some things she can only do in the corner, but Nier doesn't need the corner for her high damage, but that people who say that I think are kind of missing the point on what else the corner does. The big thing, if anything, I would say more so than the damage people get out of the corner combos. The big thing in the corner is that your opponents can no longer safely adjust their spacing, right? They have to, like, you can walk forward and back, and they can only walk forward, right? So, especially against a neutral demon like Nier, being in the corner against her is horrifying, because now you can't even space around her really good buttons, right? Like, if you have her in the corner, right? You can, like, if she's here, you can hold your ideal spacing, and there's like nothing she can do about it. Right? So, still, corner's good for everyone straight up, yeah. So even as Nier, getting people in the corner is still good. So I would say your favorable situation is either it gets them to the corner, right? Or it kills them, obviously. Otherwise, I think it's does a decent amount of damage and resets me to this spacing, right? Does a good amount of damage, doesn't use too many death stocks, because like death stock efficiency is very important on Nier now, or like ends with like a 5U where I have a lot of time to like end with 5U on like 9 death stocks or something, and like get Nier right, like, yeah, start recharging death immediately, right? Yes. But like, yeah, ends on this spacing, or lets me recharge death, or puts them in the corner, or like kills them, right? Obviously, kills them is pretty good for you, right? But yeah, as far as how to achieve that with her kit, I unfortunately can't help you. But again, lots and lots of Niers available, I'm sure, that can share some information with you on that, right? But yeah, oh sorry, I bumped my mic right there. This is an hour and 10-minute video. I'm breaking this up into, okay, I think I'm breaking this up into 2. We did the UL, and then we did this. This is 2 videos, I think. I recorded it as 1, but it's an hour and 10 minutes long. This took, I have way more to say about the Nier replay review than I thought I did, I suppose. So that's my bad. Yeah, so I guess this is 2. Cool. Yeah. All right, well, VOD watchers, hope you had a good time with the video. I know that I had a good time hanging out. So if you did, anyway, obviously, any kind of likes, subscribes, comments, bells, all greatly appreciated. If you want, go become a member. Link in the description down there. Helps out a lot. You can join some sub-only streams. You can get some special emotes and stuff using the chat. It's a fun time. But obviously, no pressure. If you have some disposable income, sure. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys just being here and watching. Otherwise, if you want to join the Discord, link in the description. If you want to join the stream, link in the description. Come by, hang out. Just be like a decent human being if you join, or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a good time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Lots to talk about, man. I've done a lot of replay review today, and like, funny enough, I feel like definitely repeated some concepts. There's like a lot of like varied stuff happening today, so that was very interesting. Very, very good time. But that's gonna do it.
Very good on.
Leaf.
Person
Hello, Leaf. How's it going?
Incredibly smart and attractive.
Thank you very much for the 7 months, and thank you for not immediately coming in with a squished little guy. I would hate to have to shoot you on sight. But yeah, having a lot of fun with Granblue. Gonna be a lot more coming your way, and until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.